vadnyugatra, és folytassuk a Juarez, a Gunslingert. Nem félreérteni, hogy miért itt át meg a kép, jó? Mielőtt itt bárki valami olyasmit vonna le.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
Oké, tehát.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Akkor lövettük. Ez a problémát jelent, hogy elfelejtettem, hogy kell játszani a játékot.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Biztos, hogy egy útjelző. Én azt hittem, hogy ilyen magányos... egy magányos faharcos. Ő is. Akkor már is annyira nem magányos, a kettő van egymás mellett.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
Anyáz.
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Jaj, beszartam. Van egy aranyrög a közelbe. Szerintem megtaláltam. Sőt, értem egy új szintet. Nem költjük el egyből a pontot. Szerintem. Erre nyomtam az eset. Hello?
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Lehet cserélni a Rangerre ugye a fegyvert, de... Ups, meg de hülye vagyok. Oké, hogy szétlőttem, de 3 centire a pofámtól. Ezüst sörétes. Erről szépen
Point being,
fogalmazzak.
I was under serious attack.
Körbehugyoztam.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Mondom, hogy hallok még. Nem látom. Lefűrészelt csült lehetne ott fölvenni, de...
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes.
De a továbbiakban sem nagyon használom a shotgunt. Egyiket se. Se a lefűrészelt csült, se a normált.
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I
Fingom
was.
se volt, hogy hol vagyok.
Steve?
Valaki elaludt.
So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
A Cherokee.
There were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons.
Anyáddal szórakoz.
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Igazából én is nagyon tudom, hogy merre vagyok, úgyhogy...
Bounty hunters! Stop that son bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I'll bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Szerintem én nem olyan rossz a gunplay. utolsó lövésesedik. Először ez van dögővel. Ezeknek a sörétes lövészeknek tényleg ennyit meg kéne halni? Tehát mert így feleslegesen van HP csikük.
That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Oda ment.
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade
Én a másik oldalról jöttem.
down from on high. Those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Tartott olyan nagyon sokáig. Ez az összpontosítás. Hoppá, hoppá, van valami geci a közelben. De nekem hol van? Hova rejtetted el? Van egy emelet, ahol fel lehet menni. Egyébként tök, hogy arról volt, hogy támpontot is fognak adni. Most is van egy aranyra a közelben. Azokban nincs. Lent nem lehet. Vagy ott van a fal mögött, vagy egyel fölöttem.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Aha, láttam. És miért nem engedted leugorjak? Azért nem akkorát esett volna.
Right about then, much to my relief, The vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had him, after months of dogged pursuit.
Reflexzerűen lőttem.
It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
Jó volt az első megérzésem.
Daltons had played me
Meg
like
kellett volna lőni a gecibe.
Apparently the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Or just one more?
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it is.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Oh. Kis XP formálás.
Bob and Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Nem is emlékszem, hogy kell csinálni. Hogy van? Ez a fókusz, ez a sebességet izélem föl.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later. He moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day.
98-szerességet öltem meg.
Of his two brothers.
Tisztességesen öltem meg a Dalton fivéreket. Ezt így kell. Így.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Epizód. 7. Mit is mondtam a múltkor, hogy hány epizódban áll ez a haja?
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well,
14.
I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Ó, hát ott adta a pénzt, hogy legyen mivel azért lefizetni majd a révészt. Viszont most már 2 pontok
I've
is
been on
van.
their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
Úgyhogy itt. És akkor folytassuk ezt, méghozzá itt az alsó irányzaton megyünk.
Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. So I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Az menne ott, tehát... Hülye vagy. Mondjuk ez eléggé látványosan betippelhető volt. És nem is lehetne már visszafelé, visszamenni, fölvenni, tehát az elsőnek kell azt fölvenni.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Hát már nem lehetett vele semmit felrobbantani.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my
Mi a
ass out of
különbség
there.
egyébként igazából a gyors lövető? Azt sem tudom már fölvenni. Ó, elkobbaroltam. Tehát a gyors tüzelő meg a Ranger között. Most nem, na, ne, itt. De nem, az távolra kóborolta a történetet. Legutóbb nem egy izét jelzett. Tudsz mákot. Aha, biztos, nyilván. Nyilván, igen. Én is ezt csinálnám, egyértelműen.
Into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Nyug ki a fejed. Nem ott gondoltam.
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Úgy szeretném megkérdezni. Már úgy érdekel, hogy akkor elsőnek ráadottam közvetlen közelről figyelt célzást nélkül még ér. Hogy az anyámban talált el? Tehát, hogy így.
Those are my friends you killed.
It was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Szos ötlet volt. Végül is nem okozott negatív dolgot.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Szoriváltás. Lovasság versus a vadon.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody!
Ugye tudjátok, hogy alapból nagyon szoktam gyűjtögetni valókat, itt ez a TP miatt esetlegesen megéri. Közvetlen közelről
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they?
oh, hello.
Only a few stragglers were left, and I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Egyeltek nyugodtan, hát. Tök majd, na.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that. On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Azt mondtam, hogy ráéreztem ezekre a izékre, mert nem.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
De ideig mindenhol tiszta, tehát tiszta ölésekkel operálok, tehát azért becsületes vagyok. Van egy pontom, ezt borsba el is szórjuk ide. És ezzel megvan az aranypuska, de még ide kell 2, hogy ki legyen maxolva. Ez a
I tried to
szituáció.
find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later I heard the Wild Bunch was back together.
Viszont arra
Kid
emlékszem, hogy
Curry
azt
escaped
mondtam,
from
hogy,
jail and now he was running the whole shebang.
hogy
So I took to their trail.
valószínűleg következő
Because I was still in
területet ebbe az
pursuit of
utárba
my brother's
befejezem.
killer and
Nos,
hoped that he was
hát
back with him.
ez nem fog megtörténni. Tehát biztosan nem ebbe az adásban fogom befejezni. Valószínűleg sokáig el lesz véve, de
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he? Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry.
Nem hiszem, hogy
I could
most
sense him
lesz
close by,
fejezve.
however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Hopp, egy kis izé. Ó, itt 4 is lesz. És ráadásul van még eszintéplésünk. Négy is lesz, úgyhogy egy picit nagyobb lesz ez a terület. Ezek szerint.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle.
Jó, hogy ebbe több
Property
te
of
is
the
tudsz
Union
olvasni.
Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
Ez nem így egy dinamittal robbantasz, hogy melyiket robbantott ő. Szerintem nem nagyon számít.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore,
Feltétlen
Fat
így
Sally,
terveztem.
she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Blow us up now. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure. Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one.
Ezt
Once that
akartam
was
ideig,
done,
és csak ideig
I
nem ide
figured I'd
engedtek.
find my way from there.
De most ide ugrottak, vagy ide spawnoltak?
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Nem hiszem, hogy a shotgunosnak ilyen könnyen be kéne dobni a pacskát, vagy nem tudom, tehát...
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Egy hedibe... Ugyanúgy egy ott dugran belehalnak. Gyönyörű lövés volt. Előttük az új begyét. Ott van fent egy izé. Ezt tudsz.
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Megvan.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me.
Azt hittem medve lesz.
It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Meghaltunk, mert basztál ugrani mesélés közben.
unfortunate.
Jó. De föl kellett venni ezt a szart.
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Szedni kellett a lábat.
I hope you understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
De rakásos.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Tracer and Kid Curry, ass
De...
Kill that thing! Come out from behind me! Cut him down!
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Úristen. És... igen. Kid Curry. Egy pajzs mögötti Gatlinger. Szerinted ki az anyámnak nyomtam a gombot, hogy elhajoljon onnan? Magamnak ma unatkoztam?
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Valahol itt kell lennie egy izének. Van. Fizikailag képtelenség lenne, hogy odalőjön. így azért sokáig fog tartani. És az első 8 lövés az mély ment mellé.
Eventually I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
És párbaj. Tesó, hát nyomtam az elhajlásba, az meg. Hát szerinted mi a faszom én nyomom, meg miért tették bele a játékba? Csak akkor működik, amikor ő akarja.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
Hogy elhajoltunk. Na. 20 000 kell a következő szintlépéshez.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
8-as epizód.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday. I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. but I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this gem.
That's right. Run!
Az elsőnek is fejbe lőttem. Viszont... ez egy vonatos pálya. Ezért úgy döntöttem, hogy fölveszem a shotit, és ez így teljesen ki van itt maxolva. Azt megnézzük, ez milyen.
Now wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this. They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head.
Az ebben már megvan az ezüst. Ezüst sörétes. A fűrészet csőből semmi nincs.
That train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Anyám. Én értem én, hogy beszélnek hozzád közben, de bazd meg, hát attól, ha nyomom, hogy takarodjál fel a vonat tetejére, akkor takarodjál fel a vonat tetejére.
Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Biztos akkor döntés azt a vonaton dobálni.
The gentleman's facilities. Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. Never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
Jack, I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But you
boat.
seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Star? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
It's the damn Pinkertons!
Now, I never worked for that lying cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil
Nem
bastards
feltétlenül
fired
azt
on
terveztem,
Jesse's
hogy
mother's
ott
house and killed
lelőni,
his
akit lelőttem, de...
It was no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they?
De a lényeg a
Why
lényeg.
is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Well, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?